Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle one of the oldest and, let's be honest, biggest subjects out there, philosophy. We're going to break down what it is, how it works, and most importantly, why it's such a powerful tool for your own life.
You know, we've all asked it at some point, right? Lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling. Why are we here? What's the point of it all? Well, that deep curiosity, that relentless human need to search for answers about our world and our place in it, that, right there, is the very heart of philosophy.
So, where do you even begin with a subject this massive? Well, let's start with the most basic question of all. What exactly is philosophy?
The word itself actually gives us a huge clue. It comes from the ancient Greek philosophia, which literally translates to the love of wisdom. And that's really key. It's not about having all the answers, but about the active, passionate love for the pursuit of wisdom. Here's a more modern way to frame it, and one I really like. You can see philosophy as simply thinking about thinking. It's the practice of taking a step back to really look at the foundations of what we believe, why we believe it, and how we even form our thoughts in the first place. And from that simple idea, this whole world opens up. Philosophy becomes the discipline that asks the biggest questions out there. How should we live our lives? What stuff in the universe is actually real? How can we know anything for sure? And what's the right way to build an argument? And that leads us to a really important distinction, because there's a huge difference between just having a philosophy and actively doing philosophy. Look, we all have a philosophy. It's our personal worldview, right? The set of beliefs we have about life. But a lot of the time, we hold those beliefs uncritically. We just kind of pick them up. Doing philosophy, well, that's the active journey. That's the process of reflecting, of questioning, and really putting our deepest beliefs under the microscope with a totally open mind.
So, how have thinkers organized this massive search for wisdom over the centuries? Well, they've basically created a map. Let's take a look.
Just think of philosophy as this vast, sprawling territory of questions. And to help us navigate it, philosophers have created a map by dividing the terrain into different branches. Each branch focuses on a specific set of fundamental problems that people have been wrestling with for, well, forever. Okay, let's explore the four main territories on this philosophical map. These are the absolute core of the whole discipline.
Those four branches are metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, and logic. You can almost think of them as the primary tools in our thinking toolkit, with each one designed to tackle a different kind of really big question.
First up, you've got metaphysics. This is the branch that asks the biggest, most mind-bending questions about the nature of reality itself. I mean, think about it. What is time? Does the past still exist? Do you actually have free will? These are all metaphysical questions. And that's the central puzzle it's trying to solve. It forces us to confront our most basic assumptions about existence and asks, simply, what is ultimately real? Next up, epistemology. Basically, this is the theory of knowledge. And in our world today, our so-called knowledge economy, this is more relevant than ever. It digs into where knowledge even comes from, what it is, and what makes a belief justified versus just an opinion. And that gets to the real challenge, right? How do we tell the difference between truth and error? Epistemology confronts us with this fundamental question. How can you be certain that what you believe to be true actually is true? Now we come to ethics, or moral philosophy. And this is probably the most practical branch of all, because it connects directly to the choices you and I make every single day. It's the study of good and bad, right and wrong, and the search for principles that can guide our actions. At its heart, ethics asks this deeply personal and practical question. In any situation, from a tiny choice to a massive societal problem, what is the right thing to do? And, of course, there isn't just one simple answer. Different ethical frameworks help us think it through. So, consequentialism focuses on the outcome. Deontology focuses on our moral duties in the action itself. And virtue ethics, it focuses on the character of the person who's making the choice. And finally, we have logic. Now, if the other branches are the destinations on our map, you can think of logic as the engine that actually gets us there. It's the study of correct reasoning, the tool that makes sure our thinking is sound, clear, and well-structured. And this is its foundational question. Logic gives us the rules for building strong arguments, and just as importantly, for spotting weak ones. It's the essential foundation, not just for philosophy, but for science, for law,
for pretty much any kind of clear thinking. So, after all that, we land on the most important question of all. Why does any of this actually matter to you? I mean, how can these ancient ideas help you in your day-to-day life? Well, here's the real takeaway. Doing philosophy isn't some dusty, abstract exercise. It is a set of incredibly powerful life skills. It's a mental toolkit that helps you think more clearly, build better arguments, handle complex problems, and ultimately live your life with more intention and awareness. This famous line from Socrates just powerfully captures the value of this whole thing. The process of philosophical reflection, of actually examining our own beliefs in our own lives, is what gives our existence depth and meaning. And that brings us to the end. The tools are now in your hands. The map has been laid out for you. So the only question that remains is the one that philosophy's been asking for thousands of years and the one that only you can answer. How will you examine your life?